Today I'm going to be talking about in-game security for the Safety and Venue Security project. Our group members are me, Tim Brunette, Eric Treadwick, who will be talking about training and preparing, Joshua Myers, who's going to talk about the entrance security, and Garrett Eason, who's going to talk about exiting security.
Good morning, my name is Eric Treadwick, and this is our safety and security project. The topic that I will be speaking on today is training and preparing for events and how you're supposed to go about it. With training, you have to make sure that your staff is up to date on what they're supposed to do, and basically showing them the right way to go about certain situations that's happened. Like making sure to get the getting the guests in and out of the arena. Also, you have to be able to prepare the arena for the guests. So being able to set up certain places, being able to set up the arena and take it all down as well. And basically it's a lot that has to be said. Then also dealing with security management, you have to be able to decompose like certain things that can happen. Like you want to prevent like any type of threats and reduce anything that can happen that's not good. You want to make sure that with it you have a certain level of security where everybody knows what their place is and what to do. And also taking an assessment for your employees is something good that shows they know what to do, and also put them in the field of action of how to go about certain situations that's happened. And that's pretty much it for training and preparing for events, for sporting events. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Joshua Myers. Today I'm going to be talking about event entrance security. There's many different types of events. For example, there's events like graduation where you're not going to need that much security, more like people to guide the audience wherever they're going and make sure that they can get to their seats and stuff like that. When you compare that to like a college football game, that's a lot more hostile of an environment. Emotions are high, the stakes are high, and that's just going to need a lot more heavy-duty security to prevent things from happening. Needless to say, every event that you have, you're going to need a good crew and a trained crew at that. When you're talking about event security, every event is going to have a different standard or like level of how strict the security is going to be. For instance, a high school basketball game is only going to have like one or two policemen there, whereas the Super Bowl is going to have police scattered out through the entire stadium. There's going to be security guards at every single gate with the wands waving you down. There's going to be ticket people that accept your tickets and scan and give you permission to go through the gate. And you need everybody to make an event run smoothly. The first part to this that many people neglect is the parking and direction of traffic flow. You need to make sure that the people attending this event can get in smoothly and safely. And once they get into their parking spot, they also need to be directed safely into the event so that they don't get hit by a car or something crazy like that happen. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the equipment that's used at the entrance. Most of the places have metal detectors, body scanners, one-way, single-person entry gates, x-ray machines, and there's other stuff too if it's called for, depending on what the event is. Many times people also get patted down for these type of events. College kids and people in general like to try and sneak in alcohol and drugs like weed and ecstasy and stuff like that. And if these are consumed in excess, they can cause you to get out of the right mindset, and that leads to problems most of the time. So a simple pat down in high probability areas like your waistband or sock and shoe location It's pretty effective at catching most of this stuff because you can feel it pretty obviously. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is keeping the team informed, trained, and in the loop. That's very important. When you're running events like this, everybody needs to know what they're doing and how to deal with emergencies if like a tornado or a fire or an active shooter happens. And another piece of equipment also that I failed to mention earlier was the walkie-talkie. This is extremely important because everybody from your team has real-time communication with each other. So if you lose a child or an elderly, you can get them back to where they need to be quickly and effectively. As I said, every event needs entrance security, but this is just a small part of security as a whole. I'm going to pass it on to my colleague now. Thank you.
So basically, when I was researching in-game security, I kept seeing the working together, having to stay, having walkie-talkies, being able to connect with everybody in the venue, make sure everybody is on the same page, knowing all the procedures, what needs to be done, make sure everybody's in the right seat, having ushers be in the right areas, making sure everybody's in the right seats. A big improvement that needs to be happen is keeping eyes on the ground. So making sure everybody is seeing everything around the venue, making sure nothing is happening, make sure there's no emergencies that need to be happening, anything like that. Nobody hurt, everybody is safe. That's the big part about in-game security, making sure everybody is enjoying their time at the event. Next, I think this is more of the planning part, but a big thing is to have an emergency plan in effect so that all the employees know exactly what to do, exactly what to follow, when to do it. But a big part of being in-game is making sure everybody is safe, the event is going on smoothly, all that kind of good stuff. Just stay in the game, make sure nothing is happening with fans, all that kind of good stuff. So, and then there's a couple keys I have on my notes. You can't eliminate all event security risks, but you can reduce the likelihood, minimize the chance of harm to your guest, and discourage agitators from causing trouble. So the key to good security is preparing and vigilance, which Trey or Air will talk about. If you consider any potential threats and invest resources into countering trouble, we will host a safe event for your guest. And that's it for the end game. Thank you.
So we've talked about a couple aspects of game day security, but last but not least, maybe even the most important, we have the exiting of the stadium after an event. So we need to make sure that we have a good security plan put in place for exiting. And there's a couple of variables that go into that to make it so important, exiting the stadium. So the one, and I think the most important one, would be the high emotions that are involved with fans after the game. So maybe your team just lost, maybe your team just won. Either way, emotions are high. More than likely, things could go bad when your team lost. When your team lost, you're upset about it, and there's another fan that their team won, so they're going to try to get under your skin. You let them get under your skin, altercations happen. So we as a security team gotta be prepared for that. We need to have ushers at each aisle escorting fans out of their section into the main lobby towards the exits, and we need to be listening and watching and scanning the crowd for these altercations. And when we do see them, we need to be able to radio in a team on standby to be able to react quick. We're going to have multiple teams around the stadium ready to react to these altercations or potential altercations to stop them before they become something that is a problem. So that's the number one and main thing we need to put in place. We need to have ushers at each section for that reason, and we need to have security teams on standby at a couple stations around the stadium listening on the radio and waiting for altercations to come about. But the other big safety concern is high volumes of traffic flowing through one area. So this becomes a problem when someone trips and falls and there's too much traffic going through there. No one notices and they get stepped on or they get tripped on or they get injured or trampled or, anything could happen. So then you have an injured fan, which is what we don't want, and you also have a potential lawsuit on your hand because safety measures weren't put into place. So that's going to be helped with also the ushers at the top of the each section. They're going to be ushering people, pointing them to the to the exits in a orderly manner. We're going to try to keep aisles from being overcrowded and overfilled with people. And so those are the two things we got to watch for when we're leaving stadiums. When people are most off guard and maybe high of emotion, we're gonna do that. So this is kind of our safety precautions we want to take from the beginning. We want to start before it even starts, and then we're gonna continue on through the very end until the last person is out of the stadium. We want to make sure that our fans and our guests feel as safe as possible. Thank you.